afternoon, everyone. In 3 hours, Governor Roy Cooper is expected to give an update on the spread of the coronavirus in North Carolina. It comes a day after President Trump tweeted the possibility pulling the RNC out of Charlotte if the governor could not promise there could be full attendance at the Spectrum Center. We'll be watching to see if Governor Cooper addresses that issue this afternoon. Local Republican leaders say they have not heard any talk about moving the convention.
I haven't heard that from anybody over at the RNC. I think it would be awfully difficult to do anything in 90 days, let alone a major convention. And I think at the end of the day, North Carolina legislators and elected officials will do what's in the best interest for the economics of North Carolina.
Well, the GOP convention CEO has previously said Republican leaders are committed to holding an event in Charlotte. And it's important to note here the president is not one of the parties involved in the contract. Within the last 2 hours, the mayor of Jacksonville, Florida, and the governor of Georgia both offered to hold the RNC. Jacksonville Mayor Lenny Curry tweeted out his city could host the RNC and would be honored to do so. He says the governor and his administration have created a framework to host these kinds of events. And Georgia's governor says that they can host the RNC in the state with its, quote, world-class facilities, restaurants, hotels, and workforce. Well, last week we told you about a New York Times report that the White House and Republican officials were quietly looking into a scaled-down RNC in Charlotte. The Times said Republican officials were looking at backup plans that included limiting the number of visitors to Charlotte and only allowing delegates. Well, we know local and RNC officials are in constant contact and things could change at any moment. We also expect to hear from Governor Roy Cooper again today, and we'll bring you full coverage today at 5 right here on Channel 9. Well, another big story we are keeping an eye on is, of course, the weather. Must take a look out here. It's just gray outside right now, just covering uptown Charlotte. And we are expecting more rain, unfortunately, and we certainly do not need it. Let's turn now to meteorologist Keith Monday, who's tracking when the rain will return and just how much, Keith.
Well, Damani, we do have some rain to talk about today, but today's rain, it's light stuff. It's not going to add any big issues, but going forward through the end of the week, we're going to have a series of downpour threats coming back in. So live early warning, Doppler 9, down south is where most of the rain is so far. It's all pretty light from Monroe through Lancaster, just brushing up past Rock Hill and Fort Mill, out of York and Clover and down through Chester. So a few spots just seeing a few light little showers. We'll see some of this make it into South Charlotte over the next hour. And a few sprinkles between Kaiser and Bellwood, I should say, and over toward Morganton as we head our way through the midday hour. So for the rest of the afternoon today, it's just these light showers drifting in from south to north, and then focusing more toward the mountains as we head toward the late afternoon and early evening. That's where we may get a little more of a brief downpour, but elsewhere it all looks to be fairly light. But as we go forward, after this event dries up tonight, some more steady rain is on the way tomorrow, and we are into the outlook from the Weather Prediction Center for level 2 out of 4 of some high water concerns as excessive rainfall could come back in again. Now you notice most of that yellow shading is off to our east, and that's where the bulk of this rain system will be, but any amount of heavy rain could lead to more flooding concerns. Our meteorologist Tony Sadico is live along the Catawba River, where many neighbors have been watching that river level really closely over the last several weeks, and it's still running pretty high, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely, Keith, and we'll have to watch it in the next couple of days as well. But at least over the past couple of days, our dry weather has helped. I'm standing off of Riverside Drive, the Catawba River behind me. What you'll notice is the water is not moving really all that fast, at least compared to last week. You can visibly see the water rising. In fact, if you look down here, you can see tracks of dirt, just kind of an indication that the water was a little bit higher than it is now. I checked with Duke Energy. They say they're still aggressively moving water down the Catawba River system to try to get their lakes back to target levels. Mountain Idle Lake is just about a mile north from here. That is still above full pond, and it is spilling, although it's very minor at this point. Residents who live along here have certainly been anxious and paying attention to the water rising. Thankfully, though, because all of that rain last week came over multiple days, there are no flooding concerns here at this point. But the concern will be, how the lakes will fare in the coming days as that area low pressure moves up the Gulf Stream and really will amp up our rain chances in the days ahead. Duke Energy has initially said that they estimated that most of their lakes would be back to target levels by Friday. But of course, with more rain in the forecast, it could take longer than that. Damani.
All right, Tony, that's the story I know you'll continue to stay on top of as the weather develops. Thank you so much. Well, nearly 600 people at this Tyson chicken plant tested positive for COVID-19. Now a hair salon won't let plant employees get a trim. Reporter Dave Faraday has been following the outbreak at the plant and joins us live with this new development. Dave.
Damani, some of the workers I spoke with today very upset by the sign placed right outside the business. Others, though, told me that they understand the owner's decision here. Take a look at some of this video we shot first thing this morning. You can see the sign outside the Smart Cuts in Wilkesboro, about 2 miles from the Tyson chicken plant. It says, given the close contact experienced during our services, we will unable to serve Tyson employees until approximately June 8th, once the recent COVID outbreak has been controlled. Some of the nearly 2,200 Tyson employees are not happy with Smart Cut's decision to ban employees for now. The business has enacted several precautions to keep workers and customers safe, including mask wearing, temperature checks, and social distancing measures. We spoke with several customers who support the owner's decision here in Wilkes County.
I think it's a good thing because so many people at Tyson has had that virus.
That there is something other that this place here's got to deal with. Because if they come in with the disease, that's bringing it into their business.
And part of that sign also says at the very bottom that for those Tyson employees, once the services start back up here, they're going to give them a $3 discount for a month here at the Smart Cuts in Wilkesboro. We're hoping to get a chance to talk with the owner this afternoon. I've also spoken with a number of employees. Damani, we're going to have all of that tonight on Eyewitness News starting at 5. Back to you.
And Dave, I know this is a story again you will be covering. Thank you so much for that report. We will see you starting on Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock. Well, as states continue to reopen, the World Health Organization is warning globally that we may have a second peak. Officials say it could come this fall when we see the flu, or even sooner than that.
The disease can jump up at any time. We cannot make assumptions that just because the disease is on the way down now, that it's going to keep going down. And
well, take a look here. Images from Memorial Day show many people aren't following social distancing rules. In Missouri's Lake of the Ozarks, take a look and you can see massive pool parties with people right on top of each other. The sheriff's office says that they can't do anything to stop it because it's not a crime. Officials are now asking anyone at those events to self-quarantine for 14 days.
Well, I think they should have been a little more aware and cognizant of the impact that they would have.
Well, from coast to coast, officials are trying to figure out how to reopen while keeping people healthy. At least 11 states are still reporting increases in new COVID cases. And when you're having a heart attack, every second counts. But during this outbreak, Atrium Health is seeing an alarming trend. Listen to this here. They are seeing 60% fewer heart attack patients than expected. Doctors tell us this drop is concerning because they're worried patients are putting themselves in danger by avoiding the hospital.
We know that the rate of heart attack has not changed. 1 in 3 people with a heart attack is simply staying home and trying to manage through it themselves. Unfortunately, we know that that leads to a much higher risk of death.
Doctors say hospitals are not overwhelmed and it is COVID safe, so people should not hesitate to get help. In April, James Conner thought he had indigestion and was reluctant to call for help, but after the pain persisted, his wife finally called 911. Moments later, James went into cardiac arrest on the way to the hospital.
It was what the one they call the Widowmaker, so I'm extremely fortunate. It was a difference between life and death. I mean, it was that big of a decision. Don't take the chance or don't risk it.
Well, James is now doing all of his follow-up care and rehab through virtual appointments. Well, the first high school graduation ceremony of 2020 just ended in Lancaster County. Buford High seniors had their ceremony in the football stadium. Families were social distance, asked to wear masks, and everyone had their temperature checked before walking into the stadium. All graduates were required to leave once they got their diplomas. The 3 other high schools in the county will have the same kind of ceremony this week. And in Gaston County, some parents want the school district to make changes to its graduation ceremony. Right now, the plan is for each student to be celebrated one at a time. Each student will walk on the stage and get their diploma. Up to 8 guests can be in the audience. They have to leave once the student is done. Parents are asking the district to move ceremonies to a drive-in theater or a church so more people can attend. In Cabarrus County, graduates will get their diplomas at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Seniors and their families will drive into the infield and watch the ceremony, then drive to the start-finish line and collect their diplomas. Those ceremonies are scheduled for June 12th and 13th. Well, that same week, CMS seniors will get a pre-recorded virtual graduation video with speeches and the reading of each graduate's name with photos. They'll receive their diplomas through a drive-through ceremony, and there's a promise for a future school-based ceremony when it's safe to do so. Well, a local brewery will open its doors today. Cabarrus Brewing Company in Concord says that it will reopen at 4 o'clock. Well, first, you'll have to check into a host station and open a tab. Tables will be cleaned and sanitized before sitting down. No more than 6 people can sit at the table, and there won't be indoor bar or counter service. And instead of glasses, you'll use plastic cups. And next week, Cats will ramp up some service. It tells Channel 9 starting June 8th, it will increase frequency of some buses and the Blue Line. It will also start collecting fares again that same day.